Okay, everybody, this is Chris from the Stuart Buzz. We're here with Chris also. We are here to talk about the topic, is karma real? Everyone, we are back, and this is the Stuart Buzz Podcast, the show where we explore mysteries, myths, and everything in between. Welcome, Chris, to the show. Hope you're having a great day.
Yep, thank you for having me here.
All right, so today we're tackling the big question, is karma real? I'd like everybody to be able to comment below whether or not you think karma is real, whether or not you have stories of how karma worked for you. Chris, do you believe in karma?
I surely do.
And do you have any stories about karma in any way? How has it affected you, both good or bad?
I've had fairly a lot of experiences back and forth.
Okay, and that sort of makes things elaborate, than we understand. Okay, so now you probably heard people say, hey, that's karma. Something good or bad happens to somebody, then you say, okay, hey, that's karma. Like, for instance, Joey stole a candy bar, and then he was caught. Well, that's his karma. He was caught, right? That's how it usually works. But is it just a figure of speech, or is it real? Is it some sort of cosmic justice at work? Let's dive in. What is karma? What is your opinion what karma would be?
My thing is like an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, something out there that returns something that you did that wasn't appreciated.
So, very true. Now, just to let you know, karma comes from an ancient Indian root, Hinduism, Buddhism. The basic idea is extremely simple. What you do comes back to you. So, like, if you hang out with a bunch of weenies, you typically become a weenie. If you hang out with a bunch of good people, you typically become a good person. But in these traditions, karma isn't instant. It can follow you across lifetimes. I don't necessarily believe it's going to go into a new life of yours, if you want to say, but people do have that belief. Do you know what I mean? Like, do good now, and maybe when you're reborn into a better life, things will happen for you. I'm not so sure that's the case. In the West, though, we've kind of simplified it, as we simplify pretty much anything. We try to make it work that benefits us. We're very simple humans here in America. That's what I think.
I would agree.
Some people overthink, we underthink. So in the West, we kind of simplify it. Karma means instant payback. It's not instant payback. Like if you cut somebody off or somebody cuts you off in traffic and then immediately gets pulled over and get the ticket, yep, that's karma. Or was it just their time to get that ticket because they were driving like morons? I don't know if you perceive that to be karma. What is your thought on that?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't see that as being karma, but I do also believe that karma doesn't necessarily like an instant payback. It could be just something that you do that you would think is normal. And you something happened the contrary to you that would affect you to be, okay, well, that's karma. It's something that you've done. I'm trying to think of an example right now.
Well, for instance, I have an example. In the store, we have little signs that say, do not steal, karma is real. And we have found 2 people that stole from our store. Mm-hmm. The karma was, we put that video on Facebook and it was spread 1,000 times. That was their karma. And their mother called us all upset. Please remove my son off the paper. Please remove my son. I said, please bring me back my stuff. They did. I removed it. All done. Karma gone. So would you think that is karma?
In that instance, kind of.
For that person? Why not?
For what they did, it would be like in what most people believe karma to be an instant payback. Yeah, that definitely would meet the definition of that.
So karma creates this comforting idea of a moral universe. Even if life doesn't look fair right now, karma suggests fairness will balance out in the end. So that's powerful because this makes us believe that nothing, no action, good or bad, goes unnoticed by the universe. But the question is that true, or is it just a belief system we hold on to just for comfort and security?
For me, it's a little bit of both. There is a little bit of it that's built into the universe. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to come back to you. It's like a scale, it's like a seesaw. How much you weigh on each side. On the other hand, it's not built in that it's going to happen.
True. Sometimes there are really bad people that oddly have good karma, and really good people that seem to have this bad karma. Why is that? There's no explanation. The psychology of karma. Now, psychology gives us another lens. Maybe karma isn't mystical. It's just a cause and effect. If you're a kind person, people are drawn to you. If you're a weenie or selfish or cruel, people avoid you, and eventually the negativity circles back. In other words, your actions literally shape the world around you. Like I said, if you're a weenie, then you become a weenie. If you're a good person, you're surrounded by good people. Typically, that's the way it works. That feels like karma, but it's really just human behavior bouncing back. It's just a human way of. So if you were, say for instance, I know you're not going to hang out with a bunch of
Delinquents?
heroin addicts.
No.
It just doesn't work that way. Now, if you did and you were a different person and you were the follower instead of the leader, then you probably would become a heroin addict.
Yeah, I would probably do something like that. Yeah.
I mean,
birds of a feather.
Right. That was a good one. I like that. So science and skepticism, they go, of course, there's skepticism about most things. I am a skeptic about most things. Science, of course, doesn't really support karma as a cosmic law. Life isn't always fair. So even if you are good, sometimes you would perceive your karma to be bad if something happens to you. So you try to live by the book and try to be a good human being. And then you're constantly getting curveballs thrown at you. You're thinking that, wow, I have bad karma. Why do I have such bad karma? It's not bad karma. Eventually, it will circle around, and the good things will come. Do you disagree with that, or do you agree with that? And growing up, did you have to deal with that?
Well, I think everybody does, what's good and bad. I do think karma does have a way of coming around. Not everybody makes the right decisions or the best decisions. And I do think they have to live with that, that weight on their shoulders, that what they have done isn't exactly correct and can, get them caught into a sticky situation. So I do see that as being karma as well, even if per se it doesn't show its head, so apparently. So I do think people do it to themselves a lot of times for how they act and then react.
Okay, so we all know people who are good, but also suffer. So they're good, but they suffer, and people who are shady, but they succeed. This is what I was talking about before. So they're good and they're suffering. They're bad and they're succeeding. Then where's the karma come in?
Well, it's
I mean, like you're shady, and yet you have good things that happen to you.
It's like they say, money, all the money in the world doesn't buy happiness. So, you could win the lottery, but look what happens to most of those people that win the lottery.
Yeah, they lose it for one.
Exactly. And, or, there was some guy recently on the news where he got held up by his relatives because he won a lottery. And or they had a GoFundMe page, and he got a lot of money, and his relatives weren't happy with him, so they went ahead and robbed him. and then they were caught. And, so it doesn't always, go hand in hand.
So that means that we notice at times when justice seems to play out, but we ignore all the times that it doesn't play out. I've always said to people, like, so Johnny is a really good guy, and he really stops and helps everybody, shovels everybody's sidewalk in the snow back in the day. But Sam, on this end over here, would actually take a snowblower and throw it back onto the sidewalk. But Sammy over here always has really good things happening to him. And this guy over here, Johnny, he is just always a mess and always struggling and always having a difficult time. Now, there are people out there that are a little bit strange in a way, that they think, oh, gee, he must be cursed as well, which I don't believe in that either, to be honest with you. I don't believe in curses or anything like that. So is karma real? Just like Mercury retrograde. I don't want to go off track too much, but Mercury retrograde is not real either. And all those people are going to disagree with me. What do you think about karma? Do you have a story about karma? If you do, comment below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the hype button, so we can actually listen to your stories. We can actually bring them up on the podcast. Most of us have at least one moment where we thought, wow, that's karma in action. And I'm sure you do too. Maybe someone helped someone, and days later, someone helped you in a way you just did not expect. Or maybe someone treated you poorly, and later something happened to them. You watched their own life fall apart, which we don't want their own life to fall apart, but it just seemed to happen. I wonder why that would be. Is that karma? So maybe karma isn't about cosmic punishment or reward. Maybe karma is just the universe saying, hey, thank you. Or, hey, stop being an ass. Your final thoughts on karma?
Well, I think it plays out in one way or the other. Since we're in the middle of football season, I'm going to use that as an example. The Dolphins went 17-0 one year, but they really have been irrelevant for the last 50 years.
Like the Jets.
Yeah, Jets. Look at the Patriots. They were great for so many years. Now it's that karma. Look at Dallas.
It's funny you mention that, because I did a podcast just yesterday to a gentleman who has an amazing stats page. It's called Ninja, and it is. I'm going to let you look at it after this, but it is an amazing stats page. And if you go into the podcast, the Stuart Buzz on YouTube, where you're actually watching this right now, you can go onto that Ninja stats page, and you can actually, he's 70% accurate. So you get the stats off his thing, and then off his site, and then you go ahead and make that bet on another site, and boom, you win. Good karma. Not that I believe that gambling is good karma, by the way. Just saying. Do you gamble, Chris?
Very lightly, not very much.
So,
I rarely play the lottery.
I actually played the lottery yesterday. Scratch ups, we didn't win. So, good to have you here, by the way. I wasn't expecting you to come in. Today is not Sunday. But I am happy that you're here. I'm happy Seth is here. The camera cannot see Seth all the way, but his little arm is in there. Just wave, Seth. Give a wave.
You want to wave?
Yay, Seth. All right. So I guess we're going to go. I want everybody to comment on what their story is regarding karma, whether or not you believe it or not. I'm going to give you my story for today. Okay? So there was a restaurant that's attached over here, and they were having a function. Now, all the other times, you're not allowed to park in the loading zone right outside over there, right? But they thought, okay, you know what? We're having a function here, and we're going to have the valet guy. And the valet guy is going to park where it says loading zone until 4 p.m. After 4 p.m., then the valet guy can park there. Well, you know what? They parked there. And karma has it that the police came and told the guys, you're not allowed to park here. That just shows them that you put your pants on the same as everybody else does, and you need to follow the same rules. Because there's a problem down here with parking, and most of the problem is because the employees are too damn lazy to walk any distance to get to their job. They want to park right in front of their job because they're lazy people. Karma. That's all I have to say. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Write your comments down, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.